Let's get to Brighton, though. What a start to the season for them. Their new manager, Fabian Hürzeler, has faced the media this morning. They're looking to make it back-to-back wins against Manchester United this weekend. Asking the questions for us, and I'm sure there are a few testers in there, was James Green. James, very good morning to you. Brighton busy in the transfer window in terms of incomings. What about outgoings between now and deadline day?
Yeah, good morning, Rob. Always a pleasure actually sitting down and chatting to Fabian Hurzeler. Despite his young age, he's got a really strong head on his shoulders, speaks really clearly, gets his message across to us all in the media. Very engaging character, walks around the press conference, introduces himself to everybody before it starts. A very personable guy that clearly is already very liked here within the ranks of Brighton, not just with the players and the staff, but also here with everybody in the media, full of praise, full of compliments for the man. But look, let's talk about their transfer activity. It's been a window like no other for Brighton. We've seen their transfer record broken on a couple of occasions already. And this is all down to the hard work the club has put in the market in the last few years. We've seen huge sums of money that's been paid for their players in the past, in particular, like Moises Caicedo to Chelsea, Marco Correa following suit. And if we go further back, Alexis McAllister, Ben White, Leandro Trossard all made big money moves away from Brighton. But what that's meant is the club can now invest some of that money, and they're chosen to do so in this window, bringing no fewer than 7 players in so far. But what that does mean is the squad is quite inflated, so there is the likelihood of departures between now and the close of the transfer window next week. Now, we already know Abdullah Sima has left the club to join Stade Brest on loan for the remainder of the season. We understand Sevilla in talks with Brighton over a loan move for Valentin Barco. But despite specific players being mentioned to Hurzeler, he wouldn't be drawn on that. But what he did say was that he's being very transparent and open with the players in the squad about their expectations in regards to playing time.
Most important for me are that the players who I work with here, that they know how we plan with them. So we communicate very, very transparent with them and very open, because in the end, I will never play with hope for the players. So I wanted the players happy. I wanted the players can develop, and we have to create an environment where they can develop. And if a player doesn't have the feeling that he can do it here, of course, then he has to look for another way. But I can't comment on any roles because I don't know it. The only thing I can say is the players, they know how we plan with them, and then it's up to them.
7 new faces already. Do you think we'll see any more?
I think you never know in this transfer window, and the way Brighton are going about their business this summer, I think new incomings are likely. Now, you know, we're never going to get formal words from the manager. It's very difficult. There's not many managers who speak very openly about players, but you know, Fabian Hurzeler is concentrating on the playing staff, but he says, you know, that's decisions that are being taken by others, the likes of Paul Barber, supported by owner Tony Bloom, as we well know here at Brighton. But look, the club put in a formal offer for Celtic midfielder Matt O'Reilly this week, so we await an update on that. We know there's interest in Ferdi Kadioglu of Fenerbahce too. But again, look, he didn't want to be drawn on to specific players, but one player, fortunately, I could ask him about this week was that 7th signing of the summer, Georginio Rutter. We couldn't ask him last week. The deal was kind of in the process of being concluded. But this week, I did ask the Brighton boss, and he was very pleased with what he's seen from the player, particularly the fact he's walking around the training ground with a big smile on his face.
So also for him, we have to wait how he adapts. But he had some games already in the preseason for Leeds. He's a little bit German, he's a little bit like also from UK and a little bit French, so he's a mix of everything inside his character. He's laughing a lot, and I think he's integrated. It will be integrated fast in the group, and that's the most important. And then on the other side, of course, I'm convinced that he will help us on the pitch by his like attitude working against the ball, by his quality in possession. He has something special, and I know him, or I knew him since he played for Hoffenheim. I followed his way, so there will be big player for Brighton, and I'm really looking forward. I'm happy that he's here in the squad.
Yeah, very happy with that bit of business. One thing later in the press conference, a very short and brief answer to Billy Gilmour's potential future. He said he expects him to stay at the club despite rumours circulating of a possible move to Napoli. That might be still one to watch with a week left in the transfer window. Now, Manchester United's up next. It will be Fabian Hurzeler's first game in charge of Brighton at home in the Premier League. He said he can't wait to meet the fans, can't wait to give the fans everything that he's working on with the players to showcase their intentions this year, the intensity they want to play at as well. Now, a bit of team news for you. Yankuba Minte, if you remember rightly, on the weekend went off with a concussion injury. The club say, and Hurzeler says, they've gone through all the protocols that are stipulated by the Premier League, and the player is available for selection. Other players are training on grass, the likes of Evan Ferguson, Pervis Estupiñán and Tariq Lamptey, but no clue whether they're going to be available yet or whether they still need a bit of time. And some good news for Brighton fans as well. Solly March was seen back on the training ground this week, which is a positive step in his rehabilitation from a long-term injury. But it's a challenge of Manchester United next. They lost them at the end of last season 2-0 at the Amex, but they've got a good recent record, won 4 of the last 6, and Hurzeler wants to continue the good work from the past, bring his ideas and put on a show for top of the table Brighton, and that game's tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Saturday lunchtime, should we say, the first game of match day 2.
Time is getting away from you, James, but for the moment, thank you very much indeed.